It's the biggest crisis of its kind in Europe since the aftermath of World War II. Europe is struggling with a migrant crisis that has resulted in more than 3,000 deaths since the beginning of this year. So why is it happening now? Primarily because of growing conflict and instability in the Middle East, Africa, and Asia. Many of the refugees come from Syria, where a civil war has been raging for more than 4 years. Syrian President Bashar al-Assad's government has been accused of using barrel bombs and chemical weapons against its own people, and the extremist group Islamic State has taken over large parts of the country, putting civilians under brutal and violent rule. 4 million people have fled the country, with around 2 million Syrians in Turkey, more than 1 million in Lebanon, and more than 600,000 in Jordan. More Syrians are heading to Europe as refugee camps in these neighboring countries are overcrowded and underfunded. According to the EU's border agency, there has been almost 3 times the number of migrants illegally crossing into Europe between January and July this year. So what is their end goal? Many want to get to Germany, Sweden, and the UK, where there are better economic conditions and growth, so jobs will be easier to find. Plus, many of those seeking to get to the UK speak at least some English. How are they trying to get there? There are established routes that lead to Greece, Hungary, or Italy. Nearly 200,000 people have arrived in Greece alone so far this year. Many migrants from Syria and Iraq travel through bordering Turkey. From there, they head to Greece on boats across the Aegean Sea. From Greece, many head to the Western Balkans to continue their journey. Macedonia, Serbia, and Hungary all see an estimated 2,000 migrants arriving each day. In Italy, more than 100,000 people have landed so far this year, with people taking the dangerous Mediterranean route from Libya. Do the migrants get to Northern Europe? Many do. Germany expects to process 800,000 asylum applications this year. But many also get stuck in Hungary and Greece, waiting for the documents they need to travel to other European countries. And in a controversial move, Hungary has built a fence along its border with Serbia in an effort to stop the flow of people coming in.
It is just a station, an unwelcome place to transit through if you can. But so many are coming now. Macedonia today declared a state of emergency. Police now decide who stays and who moves on deeper into Europe and into uncertainty. Though nothing like what they'd escaped. He survived a bomb in Syria.
There was about 400 dead bodies. Blood anywhere. Can't imagine.
Unimaginable also the scale of the arrivals on land and sea. This year alone adding 340,000 people to the population of Europe. And at each stage, escalating efforts to contain them. At Hungary's border, that means building an actual fence. It's almost complete now. In France's Calais, a constant trouble spot, many of the some 3,000 migrants protest again, angry at the limbo. And the stepped-up security stopping their passage to the UK, where they believe they will be more welcome. Britain, though, agreed today to help France keep them at bay and out of the tunnel linking the two countries, with more police and more surveillance.
This summer has seen a huge movement of people across Europe, from Greece in the east to Calais in the west. All started their journeys outside the EU, or will end up claiming asylum in a European country. In July, the overall number crossing into the continent jumped above 100,000 for the first time in a single month. Budapest train station in Hungary has been packed with migrants trying to get on trains north to Austria, Germany or Sweden. Many have escaped war or persecution, so some people think a better description is refugee. Others say that term ignores those making the journey for economic reasons.
Let me go. Yes, I want go. My children, very tired, very bad here, very bad.
It's where these people end up that now has politicians across the continent bickering. There is a huge difference between the promises they're making and what's happening on the ground. The UK has said it will take 500 refugees from Syria under its Vulnerable Persons Relocation Scheme. Germany has officially said it will take 35,000 Syrians, France an extra 1,000, Sweden 2,700. Now look at the reality. More than 2,000 Syrians have arrived in the UK over the past year claiming asylum. In Germany, that number is almost 60,000. France, more than 3,000. Sweden, more than 26,000.